Where are we at here? There we go. I think it's still starting up here. I have some icons I've made. If I can get it to open up here. Here they are. So I have some basic shapes I made inside of Illustrator. Ugly icons I quickly made. Okay, so this one's Pottery. This one's About Me. This one's Watercolor. And this one's Mail. Or Contact Me. And then of course we have our Twitter one too. So we can learn how to do that. So we have some vector artwork already made. So I'm going to start putting, and then I have some background graphics I made and things like that, which I've already demonstrated. And then, so let's start. The program I'm going to cover today, again, is called Muse. It's a great prototyping way to put together a interface. They've been really putting a lot of time and effort into Muse. Muse is kind of what Dreamweaver was 10 years ago, right? You would use Dreamweaver to make a website really easily and quickly without having to write Chevron, HTML, Chevron, typing all that stuff in, right? You would open Dreamweaver up, you start putting some graphics on the screen, putting some text on the screen, and boom, save it as an HTML, and you're like, ooh, I'm done with my web page. Well, the downfall, of course, is that the web pages have gotten more complex. You got your cell phone now, you got your iPad, you got your computer, and then you have all this JavaScript, you got Ruby on Rails, you got all these other programming server-side include kind of things. You have your WordPress. Whew, the world has gotten more complicated. So Adobe still wants to get the person that doesn't know how to do any of that stuff to be able to make something, right? So this program is perfect for somebody who doesn't know anything about code. I have no idea what HTML is. I can use this. So the first thing you want to do is, of course, start with a new file. You go File, New Site. File, New Site. Making a website. Okay, so this program is perfect because it'll make a site that is perfect for both desktop, tablet, and phone. Okay, and it'll do all the responsive actions for you. All the responsive actions for you. Now some of the default settings are a little deceiving here. Of course, nobody really makes a web page that's only 960 pixels across. That's pretty small, right? My monitor's 1280 pixels across. So I'm going to change that to 1000. At least make it a little bigger. Minimum height is deceiving. Minimum height is not something that we would use, because as you make a web page, the bottom will start growing, right? So as you add content, the bottom can grow. So you can leave that default. Sticky footer means that I haven't really got that far with the sticky footer, but I think it's a setting where whatever you put along the bottom can stay, especially on a cell phone, right? When you're scrolling up and down, you might want to have fixed things, right? Fixed things. I don't know. I'm not sure what sticky footer means. Columns, I don't know if you've been in the responsive web design kind of world, but when we designing things for the internet or for a web page, today we work with something called columns. Okay, columns are kind of invisible boxes that we can put on our screen so that when we lay our artwork out and images out, they can follow a common location. And that works really well, because when we go down to a tablet or to a cell phone site, we can then morph our columns down. So if, let's say, on a cell phone site, we want to take this box of information and put it underneath this box, we can do that very easily with the columns so that things stay in a line. Okay, so they're kind of like invisible boxes that you'll see. They don't show up when you preview or you test your site. I'm going to put 12 in there. Why 12? I don't know, because 12 sounds good. Nice even number. How about that? Well, not really even. Gutters, I'm going to put the 0. Gutters would be like invisible space. I think, some of the things that they've taken here from oh yeah, I'm going to leave the gutters in, don't I? Yeah. What was in there before? What was in there before? 20? Maybe. No, it's the margins I want to get rid of. want to get rid of margins, because inside the space around your website, the margin is kind of the space around the outside of your content, and I want my content to go all the way to the edge, right? I don't really want a space around the edge. You can adjust that later. And then same with the padding. I'm going to put those as 0 too. I want my stuff to go all the way to the edge, and then it's going to center your web page on the screen. One thing you can't make is a web page to the right. You can make one that's to the left if you want your website to be to the left, but by default this program is going to make it in the center. The other thing this program can do is it has the ability to do graphics for high resolution monitors. You know, when when Apple came out with the Retina display, right, it had a higher resolution. You know, back before the Retina display, we were always making graphics just 72 dpi or 96 dpi for Windows. But nowadays, you know, Apple has these high resolution displays, especially on their cell phone and things. And so if you choose the high resolution display, it'll make sure that your graphics will follow the standard so that they look good on a high resolution. At least that's what it says it does. Maybe you want to do that. I don't know. So I'm just going to start with these kind of default settings that I have right now, and I'm going to hit OK. How this program works is kind of like an old method. Back in the old days, we used to make things. We used to have a lot of different types of applications. Okay, and so this is kind of more of an icon-based application in this view. So let's just look. You got plan view, you got design view, and you got preview view, and then you got publish view. These are the 4 views in the top up here. Plan view is kind of like a flow chart. Okay, in the flow chart, I have a home page by default, and I have a master page here. Okay, so the master page is kind of like a master page in InDesign. Those of you who know InDesign, what a master page is where you set your page layout, right? You might have your logo, your page footer, and your header, right? And then you just change the content on the inside. So each page is pretty much the same. So the content that's the same on every page you put in the master. Okay? And then let's save our file first. I'm just going to go under File, Save Site As, and let me save it real quick. It's just Muse, I'm going to call it. So your RAM. I've already built 3 of these ceramic sites using this program. I just keep making new ones. But hey, I learned a little bit each time I make a new one. Okay, so again, there's a plan view, a design view, a preview view, and a publish view. Now I don't have anything to preview. That's plain white page. If we go back to plan view for a moment, in addition you have desktop, tablet, and phone. So right now I'm just working with desktop, but if you were one of those designers who like to go from phone to desktop, you can start with a phone if you want. I'm not going to do that right now, but you can start with a phone view. So if you're going to make a responsive kind of website, one that will change and morph the size according to the device, you can do this very easily in this program by making one and then hitting tablet, and it'll copy all the information over, and you can rearrange the layout. Phone, rearrange the layout. Okay, so you can do that very easily. In addition, you have some selection tools and things over here which are not highlighted yet because we're not working in design view right now. So again, the first thing you might want to do is start with the master. If I click on the master, it'll open it up in this view. This is, again, you'll notice it'll start in design view right here. Once you're in design view, you'll see your grid kind of layout. See those lines in there? Okay. Those lines refer to the boxes that help you place things on your screen. So the first thing you might want to do is start adjusting things, right? Adjusting things. So what if you want on your website, you wanted a background color for all the pages? You can simply come over here. Again, I'm in the master, so I'm changing the things that would be for every page. A background color might be the same. You can do that here where it says browser fill. I can choose a background color right here. If you want to choose something like a graphic, like, because what I'm going to do in my layout, I have a little color graphic that goes across the top, a little gradient. And those of you who know how to do web graphics, I made a little square area right here, a little square gradient, and I'm going to have it tile across the top. Tile across the top. So to do that, I've already made a little graphic. So just like you would inside of HTML, you have all these capabilities. If I hit browser fill right here, it'll give me the option to choose an image, right? And I can choose in my background top. It's just like a little gradient I'm going to put across the top. If I hit OK, it looks like it's all over the place, because it is, but in HTML, those of you who know HTML, you can tile it, and I'm going to tile it only horizontally, and it's just a little small graphic that goes across the top of the page. That's just kind of my design style. That's the kind of way I do it. If you look at my website here, you'll see it here. See the kind of brown with the red line at the top that goes across the top? That's kind of what this is like. See the brown? So it's just a little graphic, and then it tiles it all the way across. So that's kind of what that is. And again, I did it in the master because it's going to be on every web page for this website, as well as on my cell phone sites. Right? It'll be like a little graphic. The next thing I want to do is make my header. So again, most websites have a header and a footer. A header and a footer. So right now you have these lines right here. You can see them. See this little little dash right here? This is designating the header option. You can make it bigger, you can make it smaller. As I start dragging, you'll notice the numbers will change. Those numbers are measuring, right? If you want a 70 pixel header, you can click there and it'll be 70 pixels there. So as you click and drag, you'll notice it does put numbers that are on the screen. Same with the bottom down here. You have a bottom of browser and you have a bottom of footer. Okay, so this is a footer down here. Just for my header though, I might just put in my logo. To place a graphic on the page, you can simply go into the paste image area. There's an object. I know there's a way to insert an image. I did it many times. I just got to remember how to do it. Let's see. I want to insert, place. It's under File, Place, and I'm placing my banner. It gives me an option, and you can drag it how big you want it to be. So that was under File, Place. And so this is my logo. And it's simply in the header. Next, if you want, you can make yourself a footer at the bottom. I'm going to kind of draw a box for my footer down here. I'm just going to have a little colored area down there. Maybe make it kind of small, and it doesn't need to be so big. And I'm going to draw a nice kind of square at the bottom. And I'm going to fill that in. Again, it's just a graphic. You have these graphic tools here. Mostly everything you put inside a web page is in a rectangle anyways. So you can put a rectangle in there. So I put a rectangle there. And then up here, just like inside Illustrator or some other application, you can choose a color. And I'm going to go out and suck up one of my blue colors from my banner at the top there, so it relates. Then in my footer at the bottom of my website, I want to have some copyright info, and so I'm going to use my text tool that is right here. There is a text tool, and I can click on the screen, and I'm going to drag a box out, drag a box for some text, and I'm going to type in a name. Just like any other program, you can just type with a type tool here, and you can change the font size if you want. You can change the color of the font you want, and so on. And I haven't figured out how to make the copyright symbol. Some people have told me many times what options to hold down on the keyboard, but I can't remember right now. So again, this is in the master. So in the master, I have my logo, I have my bar at the top, and I have a footer with a copyright, if I could figure that out, with my wife's name, because this is a ceramics website for her ceramics. Now once I'm done with the master, I'm going to go back to my plan view here. So in my plan view, if you look right now, my home page actually has the stuff on it already, right? You see that? So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to make my other pages. So in this website I have 4 web pages. I got a home page, a pottery page, a watercolor page, and a contact page. Okay. To make my other pages, I'm going to use this little plus button. So when I roll over top of this in the plan view, when I roll over top of this, you'll see there's like a little plus that shows up right here. If I click on that, it'll allow me to make another page. In this case, I'm going to make my pottery page.
To do the copyright, it's Option G.
Option G?
Yeah.
Thank you. When I get back to the master, I'll fix that. Thank you. If I hit the plus again, I'm going to do watercolor. And then if I hit the plus again, I'm going to make contact. So in this case, I have made 4 web pages so far. They're all following the design of the master. One of the things to keep in mind is that this program will make automatic menus for you. So the names that you name these boxes will become the names of the menu items. So I'm going to go back to the master and I'm going to make a menu, and in that menu it's going to use the names that you have here. So if you want something different on your menu, you might want to name these boxes a little bit different. I'm going to leave them default right now: home, pottery, watercolor, contact. But I just wanted to let you know this is a way that you can quickly make a menu. So if I go back to the master now, the way you put most of the things on the page will be in something called widgets. Widgets are pre-made things. Like we're going to make a slideshow, boom, widget. We're going to make a menu with tabs on it, boom, widget. We're going to make a menu for going from page to page, boom, widget. So a lot of things are done very easily with widgets in this program. The widgets are located under the widgets library. Widgets library. And I'm showing you very basic. This program can do a lot more than what I'm just showing you. So in the first option under menus, you can choose what kind of menu you want. So under widget library, I'm choosing menus. You got horizontal or vertical. So do you want a menu that goes down, or do you want one that goes across? I'm going to go across using horizontal. I'm just going to drag it out. Once I drag it out, you'll notice it actually starts sucking up the words that I had. See how it says home, pottery, watercolor, and contact? It automatically took those words that I gave it in the master, or in the names of the plan view, right? The names of the pages, and puts them in there. Now it gives you this ugly gray, you know. Once you have that, you have a lot of options. You can tell it to have a pull-down menu if you want, sub-menus. You can have pull-down menus and things like that. So there's a lot that you can do. You can also have icons inside of your buttons. So if you want to do a font icon, you can do a font icon. And if you haven't done a font icon yet, you should really learn how to do that. I haven't really taught that yet. Even in our other class, I haven't taught it. But that's something that I'll be teaching in the interface design class next semester. Maybe if I can do it by the time we're done here, maybe. I don't know if we were running out of time and I'm running out of brain power. Okay, but in this program, it's very easy to build this. As you saw, I just dragged a horizontal menu out there. What a great way to put, you know. So if you want to alter something, like I want to alter this menu, I don't like a gray. What you can do is you can click twice on it, and it'll give you the ability to change the color. So right now, if I click twice on any one of these, it's going to give me the ability to change the color. So I'm just going to change the color here to a new blue. Everything's blue for some reason, and it made them all blue. You don't like the font, you can click on the text twice and get into the font, and we can change the font to whatever we want. Now, if you don't like the fonts that are installed on your computer, you can go out to web fonts if you want. I can add a web font. If I click on web fonts, it'll let me to go to the Adobe Web Fonts catalog, and you can choose a new font that you want and install it on your computer, and then use it inside of this program. Of course, you can go and get your Google fonts if you want to. I don't know if they'll work in here, but I'm sure we could figure out how to make it work. I don't know, what's this one? Boldly? Boy, this is bold. Let's try that. Ooh, that's pretty ugly, but hey, we're going to go with it. We got a big bold font there. We maybe make it a little bit bigger. There we go. Woo. Oh, too big. Watercolor doesn't fit. Can I make my boxes a little bigger? There we go. Oh, yeah. No, it's a little bit too big. Move it over. Let's follow our grid here. Let's stick it on there. Oh, there we go. Fabulous. See how easy that was? Imagine trying to do that in CSS, right? You'd have to go in there and try and figure out, you know, how big the box needs to be. Is it left align? Pulling your hair out. It would have probably taken me half a day just to get to this point doing it by hand. In addition, you can change the rollover colors, right? Because a lot of the buttons you see on websites are in there. So you can go to, there's an option for the states. Let me find that. Where is that? I know. Oh, states. It's called states. States. In the states option, if you click on your menu twice, you'll notice I have normal, rollover, mouse down, active. You see that? Normal. Rollover is when the person rolls the mouse over, so we can change that ugly color to a nicer color. Mouse down is when the person clicks down on it. Change that. And active is when you're on that section. We'll give it a nice kind of brighter blue. Okay, maybe change these a little bit more. I'm going to make this one a little bit darker. There we go. Okay, so if you want to see what you've done so far, oh, geez, I hate these sticky menus like this. There we go. If you want to see what you've done so far, you can hit your preview if you want. And you'll see this is my rollover effect. We're still in the master. Every page is going to look like this. We haven't even altered any of the subpages yet, but we're just about to right now. So again, this is kind of the master. I might put some social media down here in the bottom for my, but we can always go back to the master and change the master later. Okay, so let's move on. So we're done with the master for now. I can go back to my home button here. I'm going to close this preview here. I'm going to go back to the home. So the home button is my home button, my home page, and I lost my photo. I had this really nice photo of my wife that we were using in the other class, and I don't know where I did with that. I've lost that.
Well, in the preview mode, it will show you on your left border, there's a lot of space.
Where? I'm sorry.
Look at the preview mode.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a lot of white space on the left side. Is that? Left side, yes. Why is that?
Mm.
Is it just because it's trying to center in the middle?
Yeah, it's trying to center. So it might depend on your monitor, right?
Okay.
If you hit publish, it'll show you what it looks like in oh no, Business Catalyst. No, I don't want that. If you want to preview in a browser, you can go underneath the file, preview page in browser, and it'll show you what it looks like in a browser. That'll give you more true to life what it should look like. So this is what it would look like in a browser.
Thanks.
And boy, that's a horrible font I chose. It all runs together. It's okay. I'm moving on. I don't have time to change it. But you get the idea. Okay, so we're back on the home page. So in the home page, I had a picture of my wife, but I don't know where it is. So we'll just go steal a picture of me. How about that? There we go. Oh, here we go. There's all kinds of ugly pictures of me. And who's that? That's definitely not me. Here we go. Here's an ugly picture of myself. There we go. All right. Oh, here's a happier one. Let's go with that one. Somebody's trying to steal my identity, probably. Oh, here I am in front of Mozilla, 1996. 1996. I'm in front of Mozilla. I went to Netscape headquarters, and I was remember Mozilla in Remember Mozilla? There we go. I'm gonna save that. These people steal my identity. Good luck. I have nothing to steal. Okay, so here we go. So So I'm going to put on the home page, I'm going to put a little picture of myself in there, or if I had a nice picture of my wife, I would put that in there. So I'm going to put that there. Let's move it down a little bit there. In addition, I'm going to put a title up there. I'm going to drag it out. I'm going to call myself an artist. I can take and give my text. I thought there was a way to make a state. I haven't done that yet. Where you can take text. Here it is, text, and give it. Instead of just doing this, you could save it and then reuse it. I have no defaults. Oh, here we go. Heading 1. There we go. I'm going to give it a heading 1 and then alter it a little bit. Boy, make it nice and beautiful. And then change the size. There we go. So, heading 1 now is up here. Okay. Now let's talk briefly about the SVG. I think we talked briefly about SVG, right? So in this case, if you remember from Illustrator, each one of my sections I want to have a little graphic for each one, right? So here's my artist. Oh no, that's yeah, this is about me. We'll put the about me at the home page because that's more about me, and then we'll have a pottery page, a watercolor page, and then a contact page. And about, so the home page is about me, so I'm going to copy. So I made these, of course, in Illustrator, so they're vector graphics, right? Vector graphics. So if you haven't learned about SVG yet, SVG came out in the late 90s. It's a version of XML, and the advantage of using SVG is you can use vector-based images in web pages or on your cell phone or wherever you want. And of course, you're not dealing with pixels, you're dealing with vectors, so they'll download a lot faster. Right, SVG. So if I copy this right from Illustrator, I can take it right into Muse here, and I can paste it right into the program. I'm not going to have something selected, deselect everything before you do that. And then if I paste, it should paste it right in here and render it as an SVG. The nice thing about it is you can scale it as big as you want, and it's still crisp and clean, right? See that? Make it smaller, still crisp and clean. Still crisp and clean. And we'll stick it up here next to our title here. So each page will have a little graphic next to the title. And we'll line it up with our grid. The purpose of the grid is everything's the same on every page. Now, since, you know, I like doing things fabulously fabulous, let's make a slideshow. Right, a slideshow is basically, I think we've looked at many slideshows in class where text comes when images fly by, right? Fly by, or some kind of thing. If you look at my, of course, you look at my Zircon site, we have a slideshow on here. See slideshow, like this. And of course, I made them all the same size. I used jQuery and blah, 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 right? Some HTML, jQuery, some graphics. Here inside of Muse, we can get to zoom out a little bit here. So you got the same zooming and then zooming out, Command plus, Command minus, and all that stuff you would have. So in the widget library, you'll notice you have many options. One of them is called Slideshow. Now there's a basic slideshow, a blank slideshow, I don't know what blank is, full screen slideshow, light box slideshow, and thumbnail slideshow. I can't remember which one I used last time. The light box has a frame, full screen goes over the full screen, blank, I don't know why you would have a blank one, and then you have a basic one. Okay, so these are, and I'm sure you can get other ones, and then there's a thumbnail slideshow that throws you the thumbnail one. So if you want to do a slideshow, I'm going to use the basic one. I can just take and drag it out onto your screen. It'll give you options. Okay, you can do transitions between each one. You can have numbers down at the bottom. You can have text or names with each one of your images. You can have it autoplay. You can have them click the buttons to go through. You can have it loop or play once. I think it loops automatically, and so on. You can have a caption. You can turn the caption off if you want. A counter is this. You can turn that off if you want. You don't need to have the previous to next. You can turn all that off and just let it do its fading between one and the other. Fade right there. Okay. And then when you're all done there, you can then, there's a way to add images. There you go. So you click on Add Images. I'm going to go to my Pottery photos, and or maybe we'll just do, since I'm running out of time here, I'll just do the watercolor stuff. So I have some watercolors, and you can click on all of them, and I'll add them all at the same time. They don't need to be named in order. I believe it'll just bring them all in. Oh, and they're not big enough. Oh, my pictures are too small. Let me do my, you should really think about sizes before you do that. Let me do my, my pottery ones. Let's see. Bowl, nested bowl, Santa bowl, flower bowl, painted plate. Oh, they're too small too. See, I didn't make the sizes right. Oh, why do you think the reason why they're small? What do you think? Why is the reason small? Why are they small? What did I choose at the beginning? I chose to do high definition, right? Remember the Retina display? And since these aren't probably really high resolution images, they're going to be tiny. Oh, see, my mistake. So think about that maybe if you're ever going to use this tool. Okay, whatever. So we can preview what we got if you want. We can look at it in a browser. So here we go. And I could put some text in there. Of course, I haven't made my other pages yet. Wow, I didn't realize that. Because
Try the responsive design thing? Does it work?
No. No. Well, we can. So home. Let's make another page real quick. We'll go back to our plan. We got pottery. And so we can go to the pottery page. Oh, we got to go back. You can copy and paste things. I want to take this title that is on this one, right? I'm going to copy that. I'm going to go over to my pottery one, and I'm going to paste it. And then I thought it would line it up. Oh, maybe there's a paste in place. Paste in place. There's no paste in place. That would be nice. They should add that. Paste in place. So paste it in the same location, right? So this is going to be pottery. The other thing you can do is a there's all kinds of different ways of displaying artwork in here. This is, I don't like the light box one. There's this one. This one kind of has little thumbnails at the bottom. Let's try that one. And then let's move it up so it lines up. So we got pottery samples, and then you have little thumbnails down here, and then you can add new ones. I just want the same text on every one. I don't know how this one works. Need some options. I need some options here. Okay, whatever. There's one sample there. So we have 2 pages, and then we had preview. So I have 2 pages so far. Let's see if the responsive works. Let's try that. So let's go back to the plan view. I wonder what browser. Set up. So let's try. What are we doing? We're making a tablet view from the desktop view. It worked. Well, it made it. I don't know if it worked. I thought the master stuff would come over. I guess you'd have to redo the whole thing. That kind of sucks. I lost all my options here. I tried to do a tablet view. I tried to do a tablet view. I thought it would bring at least some of the pieces over. I don't know. Let's try and... Can I copy all this stuff? I'm going to try and copy all this from this master.
Can you go to the open sites and then...
I pasted this stuff, but it's all down here. I don't know. That's a good question. Paste stuff, add, remove fonts, site preview. So I guess you would have to... I guess you would have to reorder it. So I guess we could... I wanted my background there too, so we could put that in there. We could probably put it underneath here for the tablet view. There we go. Here. Hey, a lot faster doing it this way than it would be doing it. And we probably need my background graphic. There we go. Let me stop. Okay, so we have desktop, tablet, and we made a phone one. And so we can, I don't know, let's preview page in browser. There's my, we'll do, it doesn't do responsive site, at least this way. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure how this works as far as that is concerned. But at least we get an idea, oops, of how you can go from art to art. It's a good prototyping tool, right? It's much faster than having to do this all by hand, right? So you might want to consider using this as a prototype so people can test your page before you actually go and start programming, because Christ, doing all this in programming would have taken me at least 2 days. Those of you who know the HTML, right? Especially this kind of slideshow thing. Look at this. Oh, I guess my slideshow's not changing, is it? I can't go back home. Uh-oh, the wheel of death is spinning here. The wheel of fortune. Okay, it's not working here. Okay, so let's see. Boy, you can say publish to Business Catalyst, upload to FTP host, export as HTML. Let's see what that does. Let's export it as HTML. What? Invalid domain name. Oh, I have to give it like a real domain name. I couldn't just make up a name. Still doesn't do responsive, does it? I don't know. I'd have to check it on my, I guess, my cell phone. I don't know. Okay, let's see what it looks like code view though. So here it is. Where did it go? Do you see it anywhere out here? No. 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 No, no, no. Didn't I put it on here? I thought I said desktop. Did I not say desktop? Bummer. Or maybe I put it inside here? No. Okay, let me try that again. I went under what? Export as HTML. Select local folder to export. Oh, I see it here. Okay, where is it going? Let's go into Raskoff Ceramics on the desktop. Let's go into Raskoff Ceramics on the desktop. Let's go into Raskoff Ceramics on the desktop. This one? There it is. Yeah, it still doesn't change. So I don't know how you would find your... Oh, they have a different folder for tablet. There's a folder for tablet, and then there was a folder for phone. Here we go. And the phone kind of scales a little bit at least. But as far as prototyping, it built something quicker than I could have done by hand. At least if you want people to have interaction, to be able to test, hey, and see you go from one section to the other. That's the whole purpose of a prototype, is that people can at least test quickly something. And but again, if we looked at the code, let's just even look at the code here. Let's see what it looks like. It does start out with HTML, but then there's some calls to Muse right here. Muse JavaScript calls right there, see them? So there's a bunch of JavaScript calls, see that right there? But of course it's using Muse kind of JavaScript call, and then there's a Muse thing here. And then, you know, well, it does, look, it has the media query right here. Look. It has media query right there, and then it says it goes. Oh, but look, it's going. It has to be on the internet to be able to get the media query. Because look, in the media query, it says go to the phone one. Do you see that? Or go to the tablet one in the media query right here. And then wow, look at this CSS, and look at this CSS, and look at this CSS. And there's some JavaScript here for something. And then. What is this? This is some X script document. Look, there's some JavaScript there. Oh, that's for the web font. And then there's a whole bunch of stuff here. There's a block image includes and JPEG. See all this down here? You know, this is even messier than the code I'm used to writing, right? She knows what I'm talking about. Messy code. Okay, so again, I was able to build something very quickly in this program. It's not that hard to use. I know I went through it very quick, but I mean, I only, you know, learned it over the weekend. Well, I learned it last year, and then I started relearning it this year. And I don't. It's a good prototype tool. If you see that, you can build something very quickly. I just probably wouldn't use it in a production environment. That's all.